know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Oh, Jesus. What a game. I mean, what a game. If you wanted a game that really showed you what the Eagles are made of, this was the perfect game. This was a game of adversity. Did we want to see what this team could do in it, just facing adversity? This was the perfect game for it. Being down 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. Jalen Hurts only had a little over 200 yards, which I expected because if the rain was persisting the way it was, they were going to have a big run game, and that was going to be the case with Miles Sanders having 134 yards plus 2 touchdowns today, which was fantastic on 27 attempts, which was kind of nuts. Let me know if the 27 attempts was wrong, because I think that is right. They ran a lot with Miles Sanders. Trey Sermon actually got some playing time on 2 plays. Trey Sermon looks like Jay Ajayi out there. I mean, he looked fantastic. The first play to the left side, just running for a first down. The second one, he ran up the middle and was a face mask. Brown had 95 yards. Smith had 17. A little bit of an injury scare there, but he's fine. Goddard with 72 yards. The beginning of the game was horrible. I mean, it was bad. I mean, we weren't in sync. Part of it was the weather. Part of it was they just didn't look, they looked so off. I was like, there's no way that this is how they're playing the whole entire game. The Jags scored 2 touchdowns. We were like, what the hell is going on? I didn't know what was happening. Okay, we already saw that, Zay Jones was going to be out this whole entire game. We found Zay Jones wasn't playing, and we saw the Agnew, that new receiver that they have, or at least the new receiver that's going to be on the field for them. I mean, he was a beast for them today. No lie. He scored the first wide open touchdown. There was miscommunication multiple times with this defense, a few times from some blown coverage. One to Christian Kirk at the end of the game when we were trying to stop them on that soft zone prevent coverage that we were doing, unfortunately. But there was a lot of, the rain does a lot of weird things, and there was a lot of drops. There was 5 takeaways, I think 4. I mean, Hassan Reddick was a total beast today. I mean, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. Defensive line got after it. I mean, they got after it when it counted, but 210 rushing yards from this running back group today, averaging 4.2 yards per attempt, with the Jaguars coming into this game on 3.2 yards per attempt. One of the best rushing, against the run type defenses that really don't allow much from running backs. But man, they put it down their throats. Pause, but you know what I mean. 0 fumbles for the Philadelphia Eagles with 4 rushing touchdowns. 4 sacks on Trevor Lawrence. And honestly, Trevor Lawrence has only been sacked 2 times in 3 weeks, so the protection was going to be good. But when we got after it, when Gannon blitzed, we got after it. Okay, the A.J. Brown touchdown was called back. I think it was the third quarter. I think it was the second quarter. I forgot what it was. I think it was the second quarter. It was called back on the Goddard flag that he went up and started blocking before the ball was even thrown upfield. So that was called back. But there was a lot of good things to take out of this game. I was really happy about it, and I couldn't ask for more. Both teams were pretty balanced because the Jaguars are a real scrappy team right now, but I can't even complain of just the look. Like I said, if you want to find a team, you want to see what this team is made out of, you found out from this game. Now, on the way throughout this game, okay, you had some injuries. This game was packing a heavy price from what we were kind of losing here. Mulata had the shoulder injury, and he was kind of hitting the bag on the sideline. He went to the locker room. He came back, hit the bag on the sideline. He seemed like he was going back in, so they put Jack Driscoll there. He played actually really good, guys. I didn't know that Driscoll actually played I know in college he played on the left side and the right side, but I didn't know they actually cross-trained him. Maybe he was just cross-trained this week, because I knew he was playing right guard, right tackle throughout training camp. So I was kind of stunned over that, and he played really well. And then Isaac Seumalo had the ankle. I don't know what's happening with him yet, and he was just... Oh my God! I mean, he had the ankle and he got out of the game, and you put in Opeta and he played fantastic, man. And Opeda's got a lot of experience. He's jumped into games before. We ran 2 touchdowns to his side in this game, so he's playing very well. So the question is, are they going to stick with him after this week? Is Cam Jurgens going to get a shot? I mean, we'll see what happens, but we're going to find out with some of these injuries tomorrow. Big play Slay, on top of already having Avonte Maddox out at the nickel, Slay had a 4 forearm injury, and that kind of just took him out of the game as well. And I was like, oh my God, now they got Zach McPherson, Josiah Scott's in the game. It was making me really, really nervous. It was making me really nervous. Sorry about the slide, by the way. It was making me nervous throughout the whole thing. And they weren't perfect, guys. Josiah Scott wasn't perfect. Zach McPherson wasn't perfect. The way that Slay talks about McPherson in training camp, what he talked about, oh, he's close to being a number one corner. I'm like, no, he's not. Definitely not. From what I've seen so far, we don't even have close to that. But James Bradbury, another pick today, another diving pick in front. I think it was Christian Kirk on that play. Holy crap. 2 picks for James Bradbury this year. Just fantastic. I mean, he has been so underrated. Just Pro Bowl caliber player this year. I mean, the statistics are nuts with James Bradbury. It's just absolutely insane what this secondary gives you. And I understand, like, we had a couple injuries, so we were kind of relying on this pass rush just a little bit. I thought the linebackers, T.J. Edwards played good. I thought Marcus Epps played good. I thought relatively they played all pretty well. And you know what? Going forward, you're going to have, you have the Cardinals next week, and this game, and the Eagles fans were starting to really piss me off beginning of this game. The pick 6 that Jalen Hurts threw to Zach Pascal that he was in double coverage, that was a horrible pass. The first pick he had in that Vikings game wasn't his fault. It was off Gainwell's hands, so it wasn't his fault. This one was definitely 100% on Jalen Hurts. So, I mean, this was just the team not being in sync. The pass was bad, and that's really it. The Eagles really got their crap together that I thought that they were going to come back and beat the Jaguars, because every time we beat a team, it doesn't mean anything. Every time we beat a team, it's you beat a bad team. That's how it is. We can only control what's on our schedule. So if you got somebody that's trying to beat you down for beating a team, you're 4-0. You haven't been 4-0. The Eagles have not been 4-0 since 2004. Okay, that's crazy. Okay, so it was, there were some mistakes, what I mean? Like, I thought the defensive line played good. The running backs were running really well, and Miles Sanders was just on fire. He was just so physical. He was just doing his thing, and oh man, it was great. It's so special to see this team, the way they came back, and under the same circumstance as the Jaguars, they were dealing with the same thing. The one where Trevor Lawrence kind of rolled to the right, lost the football, and he had Agnew I think it was Agnew that was wide open for a pass near the red zone. I mean, right there between I think inside the 10, he dropped it. Fletcher Cox got the fumble recovery. Reddick got rid of the ball twice. I mean, this game could have been 21-0. Okay, thank God they got Fletch got that fumble recovery, because that would have, they probably would have scored. Most likely that probably would have happened. But we can't nitpick at this situation because of the weather and just what happened. When it's a rainy day like this, I mean, just enough to where we missed an extra point with Jake Elliott. Jake Elliott got roughed the kicker. He got hit so bad, and we thought he was going to be out, and he had enough to at least kick the next, field goal for us, or the extra point for us when we scored. So the Eagles were very aggressive. They went on 4th down a couple times. It worked on some occasions. Sometimes it didn't. The Eagles tried to at least make it a 3-score game with the 2-point conversion they went for. It just didn't work. And, the Eagles, just had to hold them. That's all they had to do. So end of the 4th quarter, obviously, the defense gave up a big reception on a prevent defense, which it's not Jonathan Gannon's fault, really, because there were a couple times where they blew coverages, and Kirk runs all the way behind our defense to literally the 10-yard line, and that was it. And they were pretty much a 1-score, a 2-score game pretty much, and they were in contention to, come back. But the Eagles kept their foot on the gas on both sides of the football. Okay, I was very happy the way they played. Okay, I can't ask for any more. I can't be picky about a game that has weather climate change. I really can't. The winds were 20 to 30 miles per hour, plus rain, plus hard rain on top of it. It wasn't light rain. It was hard rain, okay? So this is what you had to deal with the whole entire game, okay? But my top players of this game are both Hassan Reddick. You're finally knowing how to use him. Finally, they're not dropping him in coverage as much. He's got 3.5 sacks for the year now, okay? So And look, I think the pressure's getting more consistent. I think we're just getting better every single week, and we just got to keep going at it, keep going at it, keep going at it. God knows the Eagles are definitely going to add another defensive end sometime. Patrick Johnson got hurt, so he was taking over for Derek Barnett. So the Eagles are probably going to add a body sooner or later, whether it's this week, next week, whatever the case may be. Maybe if once they know if they feel like they're going to contend, they'll have a playoff spot. Maybe they go out and sign somebody. I don't know what the case is, but that could happen. But overall, we have to check out the injuries for tomorrow. We got to see what's going on with everybody, especially Mulata and Samalo, the offensive line. But I have no problem because Andre Dillard might come back next week if Andre Dillard can't go. I am fine with Driscoll playing left tackle because I thought throughout the game he played great. And Opeta played fantastic on the right side. He played really good. You know what I mean? So I thought, Jalen Hurts was fine. I mean, there was only so much Jalen Hurts could do. Like I said, if they could pass, they could pass. If they had to run, they had to run a lot. And I was totally fine with it. Ground per pound, when you had Trey Sermon on 2 snaps, which I absolutely loved. The corners, we had to do whatever we could with the injuries we had. They moved Kirk to the inside, the outside. They were moving guys all over the place. And we defended very well. Okay? Like I said, it wasn't a perfect game on both sides. Not just us, but the Jaguars as well. But they made the most mistakes for what was given to them in this game. And that's just the truth to it all. Just the main truth to the whole entire thing. So, really, other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. We're 4-0. Do not let anybody tell you that, and put you down for being 4-0. The schedule gives us what they give us, okay? Because I heard fans say, "Oh, well, the Jaguars they were up 14-0 against the Eagles, and they were so, oh, you finally get a real team, and this is." And then all of a sudden we come back and win and no one has nothing to say because these are the types of games you have to see. This is a game that they really needed for the adversity, and I think that's really important. Obviously, if I left anything out, let me know. I can go through all the quarters. I've pretty much written down everything that's happened throughout between the 4 quarters, but running the ball was fantastic. I think particularly we shut down the run for the Jags. They couldn't do anything with Robinson. I thought they would have had a good running game against us, but we really stopped it. Jordan Davis had a nice tackle in the backfield. They did a really good job. And like I said, we paid a heavy price today with some injuries, but I could see Slade coming back next week. And everybody else. Mulata and Samalo are probably the 2 other ones. Devontae Smith had a non-contact injury from what it looked like, but he is totally fine. He came back. He got out of the blue tent. He went back on the field because I'm like, oh, my God. All I kept thinking about was Devontae Smith being hurt. I was like, tell me this guy is like not. Quez Watkins didn't have a catch or a target or nothing today. I mean, absolutely nothing. So, had a couple penalties, so it hurt us a little bit, but this was a crappy situation. It's just one of those hard rain games that it decides for both teams who makes more mistakes. And, it was the last, what was it? It was pretty much the last drive for the Jaguars. It was 3rd and 1. It was short field, and they fumbled the football. I think it was Lawrence or whoever fumbled the football, and I think Reddick picked it up, or I don't know. I forgot who picked it up, but they just there was a lot of turnovers, because of this weather. And at the end of the day, guys, there's no excuses for it. Like, we made the less mistakes in this game where they could have, I think two drives they could have scored. I think they left 14 points off the board. 14 points, at least 12, and they kicked those extra points. But they left 14 points off the board. Coming out of the second half when we were getting the ball back, Hurts, they were on the other side. They threw a 35-yarder to A.J. Brown on the other side. It was fantastic. And then Driscoll steps on Jalen Hurts' foot. He falls down. We lose 10 yards. That drive was killed. That drive was totally killed. And then there was another time it was a bad snap from Kelsey. It was just a random snap from Kelsey, and Hurts wasn't ready for it. That was another drive that could have been a touchdown. 14 points was left off the board in this game because people are already nitpicking at, we're only scoring this many points. Yeah, we scored 3 points in the second half. I mean, that's just the truth to it. You know what I mean? So the Eagles did as much as they possibly could to waste enough time. I thought they did a really good job at the end of the game, wasting enough time offensively. Shane Steichen had a really good plan. Dallas Goedert had that big first down catch for us, and the runs were fantastic. Like I said, it all around, you couldn't do it without the offense or the defense. This was a team win. to become 4-0 against the Jags. Doug Pearson came to town, and he did a really good job. You know what I mean? Like he made this team real scrappy. Like the Jags are tough, man. They are tough. So we got a standing ovation. It was really nice, and that's it. I mean, this is it. We're going into next week now. We have the Cardinals next week, and I thought they fought real hard for what the situation was for both teams. The better team won because of less mistakes, and I think that's where we got it. But we took advantage of certain situations. That first quarter was scary because it could have been 21-0. It was close. It could have happened, but the Eagles, thank God to a turnover and obviously making some changes and getting their heads back in the game. I think that's what really worked for this team. So other than that, that's pretty much it. You guys let me know what you guys think about the Jaguars-Eagles game. What did you like about it? Who are your top 2 players, offense and defensively, for players of the game? Just give me your take on it. I'll read all the comments. Thank you so much for joining the stream the other day. It was a lot of fun. Or today, whenever you're watching it. And thank you so much for everything. Go Birds 4-0. Oh, it feels so damn good. See you guys on the next one. SHAKESQUAD up, follow slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.